If you're a health or life coach and you're wondering how to get that fun and joy back in your coaching business, then in this episode of the Wholehearted Business Show, we're going to explore how you can get the spark back. Let's dive in. Hi there, welcome to the Wholehearted Business Show. I'm Laura. I help health and life coaches get more clients, grow their businesses, and live the best lives while they do it. And today on the show, we're talking all about the fun and joy of running a coaching business and what to do when you feel like that has got lost a little bit. So I thought this was a lovely topic to talk about as we come to the end of 2024 and as we start to think about moving ahead and into 2025, because I think a lot of people who listen to the podcast, watch the episodes of the show on YouTube, I think a lot of people in my world are really heart-centered and we want to enjoy our businesses. We want our lives to be fun. We don't want it to feel like a massive slog. But what can sometimes happen as we build our businesses, as we get further into the journey of growing a health or a life coaching business, is that we can lose the joy, we can lose the enjoyment, we can lose the spark. And I thought today we'd talk all about some really simple ways that we can rediscover the joy in our health and life coaching business. So obviously no one wants to be spending the time doing something that is really unenjoyable, but there's many other really valid reasons why we want to have a business that we really enjoy showing up in. The first one being that actually when we do things that we enjoy, we are much more likely to get better results because again, that showing up is a lot easier, we're more productive, we connect better with people, I think, when we're actually enjoying ourselves. So as well as just the fact that it's nice to do work that we enjoy, there's actually some really beneficial strategic reasons why we want to enjoy our work. And for a lot of us, when we start our coaching businesses, when we do our coaching training, when we get into our coaching business journey, we start off with a lot of passion, a lot of excitement, and everything feels really fresh and it's just wonderful. Everything feels really good. And often you'll hear me make the analogy between a business and a relationship and the fact that we're in a relationship with our businesses. So to take that analogy further, it's a little bit like we kind of have that initial phase. You know, if you're dating someone, you have that initial phase where you're all loved up, everything's fantastic, you know, the sparks there, things are going really, really well, you know, that kind of honeymoon phase. And then as time goes on, you know, depending on, you know, how enlightened you are in your relationship, shall we say, things can start to go a bit downhill, or things become a bit boring, or things become a bit, you know, less exciting. And while there's a place for that, I think, in our businesses, like, we don't want our businesses necessarily to be creating like that kind of stress on our nervous system, which often comes with the highs and lows. We do want to be enjoying what it is that we're doing. So how do we start and do things in our business that bring that enjoyment back, bring that passion back, bring that spark back? How do we start to build that back into our businesses? I think the first thing to do is to remember why you started this in the first place. And sometimes, I need to be really, really honest, sometimes we actually ask ourselves this question. And if we're really not enjoying our coaching business, we need to be honest enough with ourselves to say, do I still want to be running this business? Now, I'm going to get this kind of like not so pleasant idea out at the start. Sometimes we just run the businesses just run the course, and actually the coaching business that we're running or whatever it is that we're doing in our businesses, it's just not aligned anymore, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with stopping your business if you get to the point where you realize the reasons why you started it are no longer valid, or that you can fulfill them in other ways. I think this is a really important thing actually just to come to terms with, that again, because we live in this society where there's all this focus on success and entrepreneurship and being a girl boss and all that kind of stuff, it's really easy to lose sight of the fact that, you know, you want to be working on your version of success. And actually, if your coaching business is not bringing you closer towards that, then do you really need to have a coaching business? So that's a big question, you know, to look at if you are really not enjoying your coaching business. But let's assume that the reasons why you originally started your coaching business are still really, really valid. And it's really nice just to reconnect with that. Like, what is it about coaching that you love? Who is it that you enjoy coaching? What kind of activities do you enjoy? We're going to explore some of this further. But really reconnecting with the reason why you decided to start your coaching business can be a really good starting point in rediscovering that spark when it comes to your business. And along the same lines as really connecting with your version of success and really kind of going back to that and looking at what is your version of success now? How does your coaching business fit into that? It could also be a really nice part of this process of rediscovering that joy in business is to look at your core values. And again, I've spoken about this on the show before, but I think any work that you do around your core values, or what I've really enjoyed doing over the last few years, is looking at my core desired feelings, which is work done by Danielle Port. She has a book called The Desire Map, which is actually quite old now. I think it's at least 10 years old, but it's still a really, really good read. And also more recently, I've been working in a program called To Be Magnetic. I'm going to put a link to that program because I absolutely adore it. It's really based around magnetism and manifestation, but I really, really love the focus on like the subconscious mind that program has. And one of the things that it looks at is your authentic code. So really looking at some of these things, I think, can be a great way to explore, like, is my business helping me live out some of these values, and actually am I being authentic when I am in my business? Like, does something need to be tweaked? I think this is such a good starting point if you are perhaps feeling like you've lost that spark in your business, to revisit those things and then use that as a foundation for rebuilding your business to a place where it's going to be much more enjoyable for you in the future. And like I say, from that foundation of understanding your values, your core desired feelings, your authentic code, is to look at all the things that you do in your business. Like, is it just that there's specific parts of your business that aren't lighting you up anymore? Is the bits of your business specifically that you just really don't enjoy anymore? Are the bits of your business that you still really love and that bring you a lot of enjoyment? And actually just being really honest about what all of that looks like. Because sometimes we kind of just, especially if you've been running your business for a while, you're really just in the process of running your business, and actually looking at the nitty gritty and looking at the individual tasks, the individual areas of work, that can be really, really helpful. What often happens, not always, but what sometimes happens, is that it's a specific area of work that the coach kind of falls out of love with. And sometimes it's a specific kind of client, sometimes it's client work in general, sometimes it's working one-to-one. There's all sorts of different parts of business that people might just get a bit burnt out with. And understanding what that is really, really helpful, because then when we know what we dislike, what we kind of are falling out of love with, and what we really enjoy, we can start to switch our businesses up a little bit and actually focus more on the things that we really enjoy doing. It's not that running a business is all unicorns and rainbows. And I think some people's approach, where they outsource anything that they dislike, is probably not realistic for the majority of us. So there's probably is going to still be things in your business that you don't enjoy doing. But I think it's really looking at the balance of that and whether or not there are things that you can practically tweak. And again, that big question comes back, like, is this still actually what you want to be doing? Do the pros outweigh the cons? That's a big question, and sometimes we have to be really honest about that. But looking at what it is that we do enjoy, what we don't enjoy, and what can we change around that so that we go more towards the things that we do enjoy, then that can be a really powerful question to look at and examine in our coaching businesses. And like I said, a big part of that might be the people that you're working with. So what I often find with some of my clients is that they start to find that they are not enjoying working with their clients anymore. Now, there's various different things that come into this. Sometimes they are just overgiven, they've got no boundaries with their clients. Sometimes their clients just aren't the right fit for them anymore, and they just don't enjoy working around that kind of particular problem or those particular challenges that they've traditionally worked with clients around. Sometimes it's client work in general that they just have done for several years and they just kind of don't want to do anymore. They've just reached a point where they need a break. Like, looking at your clients and the work that you do with your clients and how you work with your clients, the boundaries you have, the levels at which you show up, that can often be a really important part of, pulling apart what it is about your business that you enjoy and don't enjoy, and actually making some changes. What is it that is going on there for you if you find that client work in particular is challenging? Sometimes it is just a lot for people's nervous systems to work with people in a one-to-one way. Sometimes it's quite a lot to carry, depending on your niche, depending on the way that you work with people. And it's okay to be honest. It's not about saying that you dislike a certain group of people, that you dislike your clients. Sometimes it is just about you understanding that there's something about the dynamic, about the way that you're working with people, around the very specific kind of set of challenges or problems, or sometimes about the people that you're actually attracting in. And that can be sometimes be a really difficult question to ask. But are you, attracting in the people that you actually want to work with or not. And sometimes it's just about looking at the clients that you've worked with recently. Which ones have you really enjoyed and which ones haven't you enjoyed, and what are the differences between them, and what can you do to attract more of the clients that you do enjoy working with? It's okay to ask yourself those questions. I know sometimes we don't want to think that we're being nasty about people, but it's okay to ask those questions if that is an area of work that is a challenge for you or that you find yourself starting to dislike. Along the same lines as that, do you need to look at your actual niche in your area of work? Maybe, again, after a few years, and this was kind of a little bit of my story when I was a health coach, I feel like I just kind of had done everything that I wanted to do around that particular niche. I created, just before I went on maternity leave with my daughter, I created a course called Wholehearted. And it was literally, it felt like this is everything that I want to say. This is my contribution to the wellness conversation. And I just felt like that was everything that I wanted to share at that point in my life anyway. And it just, amongst some other things, it just felt like I was kind of ready to move into a different area and to do that more completely, which is kind of how I've ended up doing more of the work with coaches. But again, like, is your niche still the right niche? And, looking at the clients that you're working with, again, is part of that. But do you need to pivot your niche? Do you need to completely re-niche? Like, what is going on for you in that? That's a really big question to ask as well. If you want to rediscover that joy, sometimes you just need a fresh niche because it's not working for you anymore. You need a new challenge, whatever it is. It's really, really good to look at that as well. And along the theme of looking at doing new things and looking at re-niching or pivoting is actually, do you need to do new things? Do you need to try some new things out? Do you need to lean into some new challenges? Sometimes I think we can get just a little bit bored. Like, if we've been running our businesses in pretty much the same way for a while, it might be that we're actually missing a bit of the challenge. We're actually missing a bit of having to push ourselves out of our comfort zone. So that's a really important question to ask as well. On the flip side of that, it might be that actually things are just feeling a bit more difficult, and actually are you a bit burnt out from it being too challenging and it being too hard? So really asking yourself those questions can be helpful too, and really looking at where you lie on either side. Do you actually need more challenge and more experimentation and doing something a bit different to what you've done to kind of rediscover that spark? Or is it actually the opposite? Do you need to really embed in and actually look at something that is a bit more consistent, a bit more stable, a bit more sustainable, so that you have more support from your business? That can be the flip side of it as well. Another good thing that you can do as part of this kind of general look at what you enjoy in your business is just to look at what you're doing, like, literally on a day-to-day basis. Now, something that I'm looking at for 2025 is I have developed over the years a bit of a routine around the way that I show up in the business. And that's fine. And I think for me personally, I need this mix of routine and like adventure to feel really fulfilled. And I'm kind of interested in how my day-to-day routines might change going into 2025, so that I just feel a bit more, and this is kind of not the work that I do in the business, I'm really happy with the kind of ways that I'm showing up in the business and things like that. This is more about how I live around the business and having a bit more flexibility to do other things and the way that I want to show up and stuff like that. So you could be looking at it from that perspective, like, does something need to change simply around the day-to-day actual really tangible practical things? Like, do you need to go and work in a coffee shop? Do you need to go to a co-working space? Are you actually a bit fed up of just working on your own? Or is it the opposite? Do you want more time on your own? Do you want less client-facing time? Do you want more time just you and your laptop? Like, what is it that you need to thrive, that you enjoy? Again, this is a really good opportunity to pick all those things out and to see where it is that you feel that you need more of or less of, or what it is that you need in that particular moment. That can be really helpful too. And then finally, sometimes you just need to take a step back from your business. Again, for a lot of us who are running coaching businesses, we don't take holidays in the same kind of structured way that people take when they're working in a normal 9-to-5 or whatever. And actually, maybe you just need some time off, and that's okay. The way that social media especially is set up, and the way that a lot of marketing systems are set up, makes you feel like you have to be on all the time. A way that a lot of us show up for our clients is that we feel that we have to be available all of the time. This has definitely been me, and I'm slowly getting better at communicating with my clients that actually I need to take time off and I'm not going to be available then. That doesn't make me a bad coach, doesn't make me a bad mentor, doesn't make me a bad person doing my job. it actually means that when you do take that time away to recharge, it kind of helps you rediscover that spark and that passion for your business again, because you've taken that time away. And often that's when you get the best ideas and the best, thoughts for things that you want to do differently and new things that you want to do. So sometimes you just need to take a step back and take some time off, and that's okay too. So just to recap, if you have been feeling like you have lost the spark in your business and you want to rediscover the fun and enjoyment, here's a few things that you can think about. Think about why you started in the first place. Reconnect with your version of success and maybe look at your values, your core desired feelings, your authentic code. Again, go and check out the To Be Magnetic program. I will put a link to it. It's a fantastic program. Reconnect with that. Is your business allowing you to, embody those things on a day-to-day, monthly basis or whatever? Is it allowing you to do that? You might also want to think about your client work and whether or not you enjoy kind of what that looks like, working with the clients that you're working with, and then by extension, your niche. Do you want to pivot your niche or completely re-niche? Is there something about that that's happened? And again, a lot of this is sometimes just due to the fact that you've been doing it for a while. That can be a big thing. Do you need more challenges or do you need less challenges? Do you actually need to find a way to make your business more sustainable, more consistent and more embedded? Or do you actually need to lean into more challenges, more fun, more experimentation? It might be around actually looking at your day-to-day and how you're setting up your week and how you work around your business and your life. It might be that you just need to step back and take some time off. Like often that is just the case. You just need to take some time off, experiment and explore all of these different things and see what you can tweak in your business that is going to bring in more enjoyment. Really just looking at the tasks that you're doing and the things that you do in your business that you look forward to doing, that you naturally want to spend more time doing, and think about if there's any ways that you can involve more of those or focus on more of those things in your business. That can be really, really powerful. Because again, we've got a really wonderful opportunity here creating and running businesses that we should enjoy them. Like it should be good fun. There are challenges that come with running a coaching business. There really, really are. And I think a lot of us are attracted to that. But the flip side of that is that you get to enjoy what it is that you do. You get to live your life around your business, have all that flexibility. There's so many beneficial things about it. But when you enjoy what it is that you do, you get to show up in a whole new way. And that is where things get really exciting. So spending some time to just rediscover that spark if you feel that it's gone, particularly if you've been in your coaching business for a while, can make a massive, massive difference. As always, guys, you know where I am. If anyone wants to chat about this further, pop me a message on Instagram. I'm at wholeheartedlylaura, or leave me a comment. And as we go into 2025, next week's episode of the show, I'm going to share a bit of a review of my 2024 and some of the plans that I've got for 2025, which is really exciting. I'm really ready to get into 2025 and get started with all that stuff. But also, I'm going to have lots of new things coming in early 2025. So I've got the episodes of the show planned out. We're going to be getting into some really, really great stuff that is going to massively help your business transform. You get much better results, get more clients, ultimately enjoy your business a lot more as well. So do watch out for those things coming too. Okay, guys, I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.